Hello everyone, I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and money color commentator. On today's show, the process of timing, combining, and sequencing. Part 2 in our series on the efficient retirement planning for business owners with nationally recognized author, speaker, and retirement authority, Peter Hibbard. Welcome to the show, Peter.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Well, we're in the second segment, and let's talk about, and I hate to go out to the debt clock every time, you know, Peter, it's kind of depressing.
Yeah.
But walk me through a little bit of why you want us to look at this today.
Well, there's a lot of numbers, obviously, on this debt clock, and you make you cross-eyed. But I've highlighted two things I wanted to talk about because in our first segment, we talked about the taxes and how to manage taxes. And people say, well, tax rates will reduce. Maybe they'll go down. I want to tell you today, I don't believe that at all. I don't believe taxes are going to go down. I don't believe interest rates are going to rise. We have in this country, in the top left corner there, we have almost $20 trillion of debt as a nation. And that's what everybody talks about. What the press does not talk about is this number in the lower corner. We have over the unfunded liabilities, Social Security, Medicare, all of this state, federal, municipality pensions that are not funded. They don't have enough money in it. When you add the two together, $130, $140 trillion of debt. We have debt that equals almost $900,000 per taxpayer. Who in their right mind thinks that tax rates are going to go down? They may, if they do temporarily go down for political reasons, I don't think we have any choice that they're going to have to go back up. So it's foolish to think that I'll be retiring in a lower tax bracket.
Now, you talk a lot about taxes in your books here, don't you? Don't you bring it up?
A lot.
Again, you've written The Red Zone, which is available on your site. And you also have two books out on Amazon.com, one of which is the famous Teaming Up with Brian Tracy. That's huge. The Success Blueprint. And the other one with Jack Canfield, what is this, Mr. Soup? Chicken Soup?
Chicken Soup for the Soul.
The Road to Success. Now, when you wrote these books, were you an author?
No, no.
Why did you take the time? These are pretty thick here.
Yeah, well, those one of the nice things about the Canfield and the Tracy book is that they're anthologies. Both those two people went out to the market to try to find some of the best ideas, and so they selected my articles to be included. So I didn't write the whole book. I've only got one article or one chapter in each of those two books that talk about the things that are important to me and my clients. All right, so. But they're outstanding books with lots of information for anyone who wishes to go online to get them.
All right, so this one's on your website, and the other two are on Amazon.com.
On Amazon.com.
And again, if you want to write and say, Steve, I didn't get that, just go ahead and write me and I'll tell you exactly what the books are and where you can go get them. Now, I want to talk about this story. You know, a lot of times we're talking about tax facts and we're talking about inane pieces of the code. Well, now we want to talk about a real-life story here because I think that really helps sometimes quantify some of the tax issues that we talk about. Tell me about Paula and Elisa. Is it Elisa?
Yeah, Elisa, and this is all about the timing, combining, and sequencing because that's the strategy we employed with Paula and Elisa. Here's a very successful physician that came to me when he was 57. He wanted to retire at age 65. He had 14 employees. He was one of the physicians that had a decent salary of, let's say, $300,000. That he actually could live just on that. But the reason he was coming to me was he was having a profit of almost $700,000 that year, and a very unusually good year for him. And his CPA had said, there's not a lot you can do. You just need to pay the taxes and live with it. And when I met him, I said, I don't think that's true. Give me this data. So he gave me tax returns and census on the employees. And we sat down, and I brought him in my office, and I said, Paul, in this first plan that we're going to do in this TCS process is we're going to establish a defined benefit plan for you where we're going to give you a $700,000 a year tax deduction, of which $680,000 is allocated to you and your wife because his wife worked in the office. So we have saved him over $2.5 million of taxes in that strategy.
Okay, but I'm sorry, Peter. Why did the CPA, why were they not aware of this? Are they not trained in the deeper aspects of tax management for business owners?
No, the CPAs are not trained in some of these more niche, esoteric areas of the tax code which benefit client. Remember those gold nuggets I talked about in the first section? This is one of the gold nuggets where I can create, with my actuary, did tax deductions 2 to 3 times virtually any other actuarial firm. So we saved in that, plus we're giving them an income that they can never outlive. They'll have a $30,000 a month income for the rest of their life, and they'll never be able to outlive it. We also installed a Prestige strategy, which is a premium finance strategy. We saved them another $250,000, almost $500,000 in tax. But most significant about that strategy is that they're going to have a lifetime income of almost $5 million of tax-exempt income.
Total or annual?
Total. That's assuming they live to age 90.
Right, okay.
Total, not annual, total. okay? And then we began to fully fund plan number 1, so we had to sequence another plan in there. So we established his own risk insurance company called a captive insurance company, and we saved him another $750,000 in tax.
Now, it just makes for our business owners that are hearing this, what is a captive insurance company?
Well, a captive insurance company started with Fortune 500 companies, and now because of these regulations that the states have put in place and the IRS have put in place, 831B and 831A code sections, employers, business owners can now establish a second company to insure some of the risks that their companies have that they can't find coverage with traditional property and casualty carriers, or coverage is too meager. They need to have more coverage. And so you can establish your own insurance company to provide those risks for you.
So if you have a pretty substantial ticket, you're writing major premiums every year on insurance, you may want to look into captives.
Yes, no question about it. And then this particular doctor did his residency in Arizona, and he developed a love for a couple of the Indian nations out there. I won't mention which ones, and he wants to give them a lot of to help support their goals and endeavors. And so we formed this charitable LLC where we saved him another $700,000 in tax. Now he's at a point where he's selling his business, and he came and said, look, I'm selling my business for millions of dollars. And I said, well, look, you realize let's just use a $1 million example. If you sell your business for $1 million and you have very little basis in it as a business owner, in between the state and the feds, you're going to spend 30% in taxes, let's say. So you're going to, out of the $1 million, you're going to net $700,000, $300,000 is going to go off to the taxing authorities. What we're able to do in this business buyout strategy is they can walk away with $950,000 rather than $700,000.
Wow. And
not pay the capital gains tax. Since we have this huge defined benefit plan now with huge assets in it that are going to be taxable, our next step is to, now that we've created these tax deductions and all this money is going to come out as a taxable event to this couple, we've developed a QLS, which will now allow us to convert all of that taxable money into tax-exempt money using our qualified leverage strategy. And that is, I don't know exactly how much that's going to save them, but that because I haven't finished the case right now.
But it's substantial numbers.
Oh, it's going to be, if I had to guess, it's going to save them another $2 or $3 million in tax. We've did another charitable legacy program where this is our program where he's able to give money to charity on an annual basis without ever writing a check.
Well, we're going to talk about that in the next segment.
Yeah.
I'm just going to ask you this question straight out, Peter. None of this is gray areas of the IRS code.
No, it's all
This is straight
hardwired.
up. When you say nuggets, these are legit nuggets.
They're all hardwired in the code.
Okay, so there's nothing
Let me say this. I've never lost a tax deduction with our clients in 46 years.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So some of this has been already tested and audited. Okay,
yeah.
that's pretty. Okay, so our goal in tax management, by knowing the code inside and out, which is probably a little bit higher leverage of enhanced knowledge than a traditional CPA is going to be, or a controller of a company, we're looking at some serious numbers here.
Yeah. And we partner with CPAs. We train and teach CPAs, and we need them on board, and tax attorneys on occasion to do the legal work. So this is usually a team effort to do a lot of these strategies.
And you're teaching them sometimes. This is sometimes new to them.
Yeah, well, I do CE credits for attorneys and CPAs.
So you're doing CLE and CPE as well?
Yeah.
On issues like this?
Yes.
So you not only are a regular consumer and retail financial advisor, you also teach the professional market.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a really good thing to know, because I think that people, the broader they understand when you're talking about these things, down the middle, not a gray area, you're speaking and teaching to tax attorneys and CPAs, controllers, people that are already doing this. You're already partnering with these people to do this.
Yeah.
Now, that's pretty good. Now, you say this case isn't quite done yet.
No, because we've still got to do the Strategy 6 here, and Strategy 7 is just now being implemented. We'll have that done here in the month of September.
And just a little side note real quick before we leave the segment. Strategy 6, when you're taking qualified plan money and converting it to tax-free Roth or whatever your tax-free scenario you're going to use, I always worry about that bracket bumping, but you actually have an answer for all that as well.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get to that in another segment. Listen, don't forget to watch our next segment on raising money for charity without writing a check. I definitely want to hear that. Part 3 in our series on tax-efficient retirement planning for business owners. And keep in mind, before moving forward with any of the ideas on our show, always check with your tax consultant, legal counsel, or financial advisor. You've been watching Savant's Money, the name of the game.